coordinate.
These guys are here too.
We back.
Big news last night while you were sleeping. Enormous quarterback news from Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. is the new starting quarterback for the Falcons. Kirk Cousins to the bench. This announced by Coach Raheem Morris last night. Cousins, 9 picks, 1 touchdown pass across his past 5 games. You remember Penix, he led Washington to the national championship game last season. Falcons stunned the world by taking him number 8 overall in the draft. And you may say to yourself, well, why was the world so stunned? Lest you forget, that came after the Falcons on March 11th had signed Kirk Cousins, a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury, to a 4-year, $180 million contract with $100 million guaranteed. If they release him,
got a great agent.
If they release him after this and he does not play for them again, they will have paid him $90 million to play 14 games. This is the franchise that decided at the last moment they didn't need Bill Belichick's help. I will keep coming back to that. Come on, this is an abject.
There's so many different ways to go. And he managed to.
Hey, he just bulldozed right over
everything. Michael Penix, young kid, getting his first chance. Kirk Cousins, Achilles recovery. You know what? You know what have fixed all of that? Bill Belichick.
Well, because here's the problem. I hear
He's people. Right now.
Thank goodness. Look how genius it was that they took Penix. After all, they knew what they were doing. They paid the man $100 million guaranteed dollars. And so now you're going to try and tell me, oh, well, this was actually great foresight by the Falcons to have a succession plan.
Well, listen, you can either make a mistake or you can actually get a solution. Like, this move could save their season. So credit to them for at least doing it, getting the insurance policy so that they're in this position, they have somebody to turn to. Does it make up for the contract? No.
Yeah.
But at least they have somewhere to go now.
And I can honestly say, I don't know, and this is no joke. I've played 14 years. I've watched football my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen a player fall off a cliff. The first 9 games to what he's done in these past 5, honestly, I've never seen it tank this bad. And he looks dejected. He looks confused, which you would not think about a guy who's played. He looks like he has no confidence in any. I mean, it's like the last shot of a Roman candle when he thinks. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, but you look at. He looks like everything. He has a string attached to everything. He wants to pull it back as soon as he throws it. I've never seen Kirk Cousins look this way. I think it left Raheem Morris no other option, which is disappointing because Atlanta still has a chance of having a home playoff game, which is monumental. But I'm telling you, whatever's going on with Kirk Cousins, I have not seen it before, and it's shocking to me in all honesty.
And I'm still trying to qualify whether or not it is because of the Achilles, because he's trying to navigate coming back from that, not being at full strength. The only adjective that you can give Kirk Cousins, the only one you can't give him at this point is underpaid. Like everything else hits because he's not mobile in the pocket. They didn't throw a single first down pass. That's the first time ever.
Which by the way, did not help him.
Exactly. That's the point. They're trying to call the offense around the deficiencies that Kirk Cousins has put on display over this stretch of the season.
I would think you want to do the opposite. First down is when they are not expecting this. You want to throw then. But to your point, like, he was inaccurate in this game. His arm looked weak in this game. He also wasn't mobile in this game. And, he's an older guy, and it's a serious injury. As much as we want to pretend like you can come back from everything, he hasn't come back from everything. And he's a far cry from what he was early in the season when he was walking in traps and taking over traps. He is no longer boss man D-Lo. He is returning all traps. The traps are now back to their original holders.
You actually said something really interesting yesterday when we were talking about him. You said when he walked in and they interviewed him, they said, "What are you going to do differently?" He said, "Run more." And you looked at me, you were like, "This dude just said run more, not accuracy. Run more."
Laughing at my
that perked up. We always talk about something made me perk up and listen. Run more, Kirk Cousins. Not the option I'm selecting.
So this is the end, I guess, of his season. I would ask quickly before we move on to other matters. Kirk Cousins has had a fine career, terrific career. He's made a lot. Again, he's majored in making a lot of money, but he's played well. I mean, he's been a very good player.
For sure.
Do we think that this is essentially the end of it? On week 1 of the 2025 season, will he be a starting quarterback in the NFL?
I mean,
only if Atlanta eats all the contract. There's no one's going to do. Yep. Atlanta would have to eat the contract, and then there's potential
to release it.
If it carries with it that burden of a contract, nobody's going to.
I guess I would have said the same thing about Russell Wilson.
That was going to be my point. I was going to nail that one, but you jumped into
my
it.
Bad. Apologies.
But
That's what I did. I jumped the route.
Like a true TV right
But this is just a little hating on Russell. Russell Wilson threw 26 touchdowns and like 8 picks over a year.
I was just saying about the contract.
Don't compare those.
That's the analogy of the conversation.
No, y'all trying to throw shade on my man Russell Wilson. No, I ain't here for it.
I'm with Russell Wilson. To your point about Kirk Cousins, I don't think that they trade for this contract. I do think he's a starting quarterback next year because he's a little bit healthier. And this is also the first sign that we've got from him that there could be something.
We live in a world where Jameis and Joe Flacco have like literally gotten starting jobs. He is talented enough. And QB desperation in the NFL.
Yeah, week one, though, with the contracts, it makes them.
Save that. The Russell Wilson criticism comes a little later in the show. In the meantime, let's do the panic meter here as we prepare for week 16. We got some situations to deal with injuries. Kmart, how panicked are we about TJ Watt's ankle and the impact it's going to have on the Steelers? Low, medium, or high?
Greeny, it's low for me. I checked in on this, and the expectation I'm told is that he will be ready to go. Yesterday was a light day. It was like a walkthrough. He did not practice, but I'm told that he does feel better and he expects to play. So I'm optimistic about it.
Hawk, Detroit is next. David Montgomery out for the season. Your panic level for Detroit Super Bowl chances with all their injuries, low, medium, or high?
It's high. It's high. I think throughout the season we've seen these injuries. We said, it's okay that they have a next man up mentality. Dan Campbell has done an incredible job of making sure that the standard doesn't drop no matter who's in there. But after a while, you got to say, hey, enough is enough.
Panicked are we about the ankle of Patrick Mahomes, low, medium, or high?
High. And not high because of the injury itself, because of the craziness that's coming out of let's bench him for the season to make sure he's okay, that we can go on the road for 3 weeks in the NFL and try to go win go three-peat. No. Patrick Mahomes is one of the toughest players I have seen in the NFL. He is a tough cat. If this dude tells you can play, you let him play, secure the first seed bye, and then rest him.
All right, let's hear from him. This was Mahomes yesterday talking about the possibility of playing despite the injury.
That's the reason you play this game is to push to play. So I'll get to work in practice and try to push it to see where I can get to. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to put our team in a bad position. So if I feel like I can play and go out there and win a football game, I'll play. And obviously, we've put ourselves in good position to where I guess I wouldn't say it was dire that I play. We're trying to win the football game, and I'm a competitor. I want to go out there and play. So I'll push myself to get to the best place possible over these next few days, and we'll be able to make a decision then.